The Eaton fire is now estimated to be 14,117 acres.
We just were in a rush to get out.
Over 7,000 structures are damaged or destroyed.
We said we wish we grabbed, which no one thought this would happen.
And 2,832 firefighting personnel are assigned to the Eaton fire.
All of our children's artwork. This is it.
Elevated critical fire weather conditions are predicted to begin this evening and continue through Wednesday.
National Guard is there just making sure that people are staying out of the homes because of the danger and safety and the looters.
Our staffing has increased to approximately 500 personnel. We also have roving security to deal with looting and address those issues.
Historic wildfires in the Golden State have killed at least 11 people and 13 others are confirmed missing. A new flare-up in the Palisades fire has now led to mandatory evacuation orders as the fire switches direction, posing a new threat northeast towards Mandeville Canyon. That's threatening the Brentwood area. Fire weather watchers are in effect for Los Angeles and also Ventura counties from now until tomorrow morning as the Santa Ana winds are picking up right now. Crews battling at least 4 active wildfires in the Los Angeles area. 2 have now been contained. Residents are also dealing with criminals and looters.
A curfew order was established for the Palisades and Eaton fire areas in all mandatory evacuation zones that will be in effect from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. until further notice. In total, we have made 22 arrests between the Eaton Palisades fire, 19 arrests in the Eaton area, and 3 in the Palisades area. Most of the arrests were made for burglary, looting, including trespassing, possession of narcotics, identity theft, and 1 suspect was on active parole and charged with the possession of a concealed firearm.
We're seeing disturbing images like this showing how brave residents confronted a homeless man with a flamethrower. Witnesses say they saw him setting fires to trees and garbage cans. This comes as authorities arrested another homeless man who say started a fire at a park last night. We've got team coverage on the ground in California tonight. Christina Coleman is in Altadena following the Eaton fire. But first, we go live to Matt Finn near the Palisades fire in the Mandeville Canyon. Hi, Matt.
Hey there, this is another really unfortunate development here. The Palisades fire has made its way here into the Mandeville Canyon. This is a densely populated area, thousands of homes on just this street alone, and there are flames approaching the homes here. We have seen at least 1 or 2 structures already burning today. If there's any good news I can offer you is that this fire line is moving much slower than the original fire that broke out earlier this week, and there are a lot of airdrops, water and fire retardant happening right now, and there are a ton of fire crews around here. They've been telling me all day that they feel confident about the fire line here in Mandeville Canyon. This is something that a lot of people in the area feared that would happen, that the fire would eventually burn all the way over from the Palisades into this densely populated canyon. It has now happened. Unfortunately, the winds are expected to pick up, but so far today, fire crews tell us that they feel good about the fire here in the canyon. Another unfortunate aspect of this is that the canyon runs down onto Sunset Boulevard, and so if the fire does make it down this canyon, it exposes much larger portions of western LA to the Palisades fire. You're talking Burbank, Westwood, and then the 405. So unfortunate news here. Right now at this hour, fire crews tell me they're feeling okay about what you're seeing here in the Mandeville Canyon. Back to you guys.
Oh, thank you, Matt. It's Anita Vogel. And I had a quick question. You mentioned that the fire is moving a little bit more slowly, and that's good news. But you also mentioned it's moving ever so closely. It's creeping along towards the 405. And that's such a big concern. What have you heard about that?
Well, I live not far from here, just on the opposite side of the 405. My understanding is right now it hasn't jumped the 405, which is very good news, because then again, that would expose much larger portions of LA to this fire right now. I would say this is perhaps the most concerning part of the front lines, the Mandeville Canyon area, because this is extremely populated, tons of homes around here. This is, a lot of people fear this would happen, and now it has, Anita.
Okay, Matt, thank you so much for that.
Meantime, roughly 1,080 National Guard members have been deployed to help with response efforts. Christina Coleman joined the troops last night. She joins us now on the ground in Altadena, California tonight. Christina has been tracking the Eaton fire. Hi, Christina.
Hi, yes, and we have some tragic news regarding this fire. We got an update from authorities. They have told us that the death toll has increased. 2 more people are now confirmed dead from this fire, which brings the total number of lives lost in this to 8. 8 people have died from the deadly Eaton fire. It adds to the devastation here. I mean, just take a look at this house. It is destroyed. It is one of more than 7,000 homes and businesses that have been ravaged by this wildfire that just continues to burn. It is only 15% contained. Today, Governor Gavin Newsom announced that he has increased California National Guard personnel to support LA responders to nearly 1,700 service members, doubling the CalGuard boots on the ground as they support local law enforcement. Some of them are positioned at major intersections to secure areas that have been destroyed by the fires. They say they know how bad some people want to check on their homes, but they're urging everybody to have patience. They want people to be careful. There's lots of down power lines and, natural gas leaks. So they don't want people around here. Also, they want to keep looters out. The guardsmen were deployed Wednesday, some of them even sleeping nearby at a California Highway Patrol Communication Center so they could be close to areas where they are desperately needed as they collaborate with the LA County Sheriff's Department, California Highway Patrol, and LAPD. So again, this fire, it is not out. It is 15% contained, and unfortunately, those Santa Ana winds, we're expecting more of them tonight and for them to be strong. So these firefighters, they definitely have their work cut out for them. Back to you.
Christina, it's Guy Benson. I know that you spent some time with some of the National Guardsmen who are dealing with all of this, and it's been now days into this crisis. What's the morale of the first responders on the ground?
I got to tell you, yesterday I spoke to quite a few of them, and they are very passionate about their work here. They told me, this is not a race. It's a marathon. We do not know what's going to happen next, but we are here for our community. A lot of the soldiers, they live here. They live around this area. As a matter of fact, 2 of them actually lost their homes in these fires, and they still wanted to come out and help, direct traffic and prevent looters from getting into secured areas. So, it really speaks to the resilience of this community and how so much of us are coming together during this very, very tragic time.
It sure does. Christina Coleman, thank you so much for that. And as California residents lose confidence in state and local officials, President Biden is rushing to Governor Gavin Newsom's defense.
I think you're getting a bad rap. I know you're getting a bad rap about these fire hydrants don't have enough water in them. Give me a break. Give me a break. What this is all about is the utilities, understandably, what they did is they cut off power because they're worried about these high tension lines coming down and causing more fires in the wind, right? When they do that, guess what? They shut off the power that controls the ability to pump the water.
I ask you, we've got to deal with this misinformation. There were hurricane force winds of mis and disinformation, lies.
The LA Times is reporting a reservoir in the Palisades that holds 117 million gallons of water was offline this month for previously scheduled maintenance. It was empty when the Palisades fire exploded. This news is coming as Mayor Bass faced fierce criticism for being MIA as the fires broke out. Her deputy mayor, nowhere to be found either. Brian Williams was placed on leave for allegedly making a bomb threat against City Hall. On top of that, there are rumors of a feud between the Los Angeles Fire Department and Mayor's office after Chief Kristen Crowley said that the city let her agency down. Jason, I want to come to you first. There's a crisis of confidence here, and the leadership has not stepped up to the plate. You've got our current president responding in that way. Your thoughts on how people are supposed to move forward when they don't believe that their leaders are acting necessarily in their best interest?
Well, look how it's going. It doesn't seem to be getting better, and I think leadership is failing them. It failed before the fire, but during the fire. If the president was serious about getting to the bottom and actually making efforts to protect the people of Los Angeles, he would be doing it in the Situation Room, which has all the communications tools necessary to have that communication. That was a press event to protect Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass. That's what it came across as to me. And where's the Forest Service? How come, to the best of my knowledge, somebody tweet at me or tell me that I'm wrong, but the Forest Service, in places like the Intermountain West, they fight fires in big ways in remote areas. Instead, we got to go to Canada to get, firefighting equipment. We got the Mexicans having to fly in. How embarrassing is that? We have thousands and thousands and thousands of people who know how to fight forest fires in remote areas like this, and I don't see the Forest Service. Where is the Department of Agriculture? Where's the Secretary of Agriculture who oversees this? How come that person isn't involved and engaged? These are the types of things I think Angelenos have to ask, because these firefighters, they're heroes. They've got to be exhausted. But you know what? There are other resources willing to come. But the president's not grabbing hold of this, and the governor's certainly not adding to the solution.
And you've got people on the ground who are suffering. We have a soundbite from Michaela Wilson. She evacuated. Let's listen.
The past, since we lived there since I think 2008, 2009, this scene has happened many times before, where we've done this, the fire on that hillside. In fact, on New Year's Eve, some kids were playing with fireworks, and there was almost a fire almost at that exact same spot that was put out. The difference is this time, yeah, there were hurricane force winds, but the big difference is that people, the water, there's no water in the Palisades Reservoir. That's my house right there, the sprinklers on the roof. Even at that point, the sprinklers didn't have enough water pressure to really soak the house.
Anita, you know the area. You know it well.
Jackie, I was there on New Year's Eve, to that person's point, and we were up all night watching that fire. We got woken up at 1 o'clock in the morning. And, look, I have lived in the Palisades on and off for the last 15 years. Right now, we have a rental house there that, by the grace of God, is still standing. We may have some pictures to show that the house next door burned down. So it's really miraculous. There it is. You see the house next door, and the house to the left is ours. It's a miracle that it's still standing. What's sad about this is that the person whose house burned down is the one who alerted the entire neighborhood that there was a fire. He's the one who called 911. He alerted the neighbors. These are his pictures of him. These are pictures that he took, and then he made the treacherous drive down Palisades Drive, down to Sunset to safety. My husband was home at the time. I called him. I told him to get out. And, we have so many friends who have lost their homes. My daughter went to school there. Their friends, they have no homes. Their children, their childhoods are lost. And to Jason's point, these people, and it's not just the Palisades, it's also Malibu. Malibu's been decimated. These people deserve answers. They deserve to know, why was that reservoir offline? It had been, the contract, according to the LA Times, had been handed out in April. Why wasn't it done? We just, we need answers for these things. This is a horrific situation, and we can't just let it go.
I think you're right. Meantime, Fox Corporation has made a $1 million donation to the American Red Cross's California wildfires relief efforts, and continues to be an annual disaster giving program partner, which enables the Red Cross to respond immediately to disasters by providing safe shelter, hot meals, emotional support, and resources to aid in recovery. Join Fox Corp's support of families impacted by the California wildfires by visiting go.fox/Red Cross or scan the QR code that you see on your screen.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.